Hello, everyone. I'm Bo from Brutal Commentary, and today I'm going to be breaking down our main card opener for UFC Fight Night Seattle. In this one, we have Terrance McKinney taking on Kyle Nelson. This is going to be a very fun fight. It should be, right? It's a Terrance McKinney fight. They're always fun fights. Honestly, though, this fight does not feel like it's about skill. It's more about timing, right? Because with Terrance McKinney, you know what type of fight you're going to get. Crazy first round, just balls to the wall action. But at the same time, while the chaos is early, it does not stay long. And after a certain portion, usually after the first round, but even sooner than that, it all just goes downhill quickly, and we get a completely different fight. So, though, Terrance McKinney type fight, man, sometimes it's easier to flip a coin than it is to actually pick. But at the end of the day, it's my job to break down the fights, and I do enjoy my job. So, with that said, let's look at our two fighters. Starting with Kyle Nelson. He's currently 17-6-1 as a professional, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Nelson was actually on a pretty good streak, beating names like Blake Builder, Fernando Padilla, and then recently TKOing of Bill Algeo 2 years ago. His last loss was against Steve Garcia, September 2024. Not a bad loss whatsoever. We see how good Steve Garcia is. And most recently, Nelson has returned to lightweight. He did it last October where he defeated Matt Frevola via decision, which, should have been a TKO. I'll leave it at that. But Nelson had fought at lightweight before, actually at the start of his UFC career. Not very favorable, so he moved down to featherweight. Had a bit more success, but I guess after the Steve Garcia loss, which he did miss weight for that fight, decided to move up in weight once again. Now back at lightweight, which mixed results, right? Matt Frevola is a decent name on the resume, but this is a pretty, I would say, past his prime Matt Frevola. So there is some asterisk to that. So, though, we'll see how far this second run at lightweight goes for Kyle Nelson. Now, looking at Terrance McKinney, he's currently 17-8 as a professional. He's 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Like I said, man, you know the Terrance McKinney type formula. In the first round, he is dynamite. He is super explosive, super offensive, and just crushes his opposition, like he did against Brandon Moret, who he just simply crushed pretty quickly. Then he got Then McKinney got head kicked into oblivion by Esteban Ribovic. Then went on a nice 2-fight win streak where it seemed McKinney started to lean towards his wrestling, which is more technical than his striking, and TKO'd Damir Hadzovic and submitted Vyacheslav Borshev. But then McKinney went back to his ways, dude. Had a good first few minutes against Chris Duncan. Tired out, then got choked unconscious. Or actually, I take it back. Got caught in the anaconda and tapped. So that's kind of the thing with McKinney, right? He beats a lot of these bottom-ranked lightweights pretty quickly in a highlight reel fashion. That means that he has some good wins, right? Like knocking out Matt Frevola in 6 seconds, submitting Faraz Ziham, which is aged very well considering the streak Faraz Ziham is at. So overall, like I said, McKinney's kind of a rounder buzz, a glass cannon for sure, but still fun nonetheless. And against someone like Kyle Nelson, who's, I would say, a good dance partner for the type of McKinney fight, should be a good one. Now that being said, let's get down to the breakdown. Starting with Terrance McKinney. He is definitely just one of the most explosive fighters in the lightweight division. Right from the opening bell, he is dangerous no matter what. Even in losing efforts, McKinney is dangerous in round 1. He's got serious knockout power, good, explosive, technical wrestling, good grappling too, and just aggressive finishing instincts. And physically, he's just as much of a problem. McKinney, I would say, is actually pretty big for lightweight, right? 5'10" with a 73.5-inch reach. Now, he's going to be a bit shorter than Kyle Nelson, but I guarantee you McKinney is the bigger fighter in there. He's stronger, he's faster, and more explosive than most opponents he faces. McKinney's a pretty good athlete. And in the first round, McKinney is an absolute nightmare. He can blitz you, take you down, or just crack you with clean and fight-ending power immediately. I mean, you saw how many times he hurt Drew Dober in the first round of their fight. The Crimson Chin, man, it survived the storm. That was the only thing keeping Drew Dober standing. Or hell, even Ismael Bonfim had some problems in the first round before, I wouldn't say rallying, but finding the knockout in the second. But there's also a downside. McKinney is the definition of sort of a front-loaded fighter. What do I mean by that? It means for about 3 to 4 minutes, you get some elite offense, and after that, it all just falls off a cliff. McKinney's cardio drops. He becomes McKinney. I mean, his durability's never been good, and it certainly is not good after that 3 to 4 minute mark. And opponents who survive the early storm usually are going to take over. That's just the formula, unfortunately speaking. It literally happens in all of his fights. And McKinney, you look at his stats, he has one of the shortest fight times, about 3 minutes. That tracks, because after that 3 minutes, he loses. He just loses. I don't know why. He just does. Now, looking at Kyle Nelson, he's more of a generalist, right? I mean, McKinney is too. They're both well-rounded, but McKinney's more of a threat than Kyle Nelson. So that's it. Kyle Nelson, solid, well-rounded fighter. Not necessarily elite in one area. I'd say if there's one thing that Nelson does better of his skill set, I would say it's his boxing. Definitely his best attribute. But still, solid grappling and good enough wrestling, like he's able to take down Matt Frivola, who is a competent wrestler in himself. Fairly technical, and that right hand is powerful. And while Kyle Nelson isn't necessarily a knockout threat, he does have enough power to hurt his opponents. We've seen him finish a few fighters like Bill Algeo, for example. Hell, he basically TKO'd Matt Frivola as well. Oh, but that's key in this type of matchup, because if McKinney fades, I can see Kyle Nelson as that type of fighter to make McKinney pay and possibly finish him, in the second or third round. So I think this fight comes down to one question: can Kyle Nelson survive the first round? If he can, if Kyle Nelson can survive that first round blitz, the fight likely is going to swing in his favor. If he can't, it's going to be over, because McKinney is going to come out fast. He's going to push the pace, look for the finish, and try to end this fight before cardio becomes a factor. Nelson's path, I would say, is just stay composed, survive, weather the storm, and extend the fight past the 3 to 4 minute mark. But that's easier said than done, of course, because McKinney is someone who can finish the fight pretty much anywhere. So this is a risky fight to pick, honestly. All Terrance McKinney fights are. You're either trusting that McKinney can make short work of his opponent before his internal clock runs out, or you pick Kyle Nelson, who, if this goes past that first round, definitely has the skills to finish Terrance McKinney. I think he has the striking to do it. But at the same time, Kyle Nelson is well, I wouldn't say Kyle Nelson's chinny, but I don't think he has the chin to survive the power of Terrance McKinney. It's basically like this. You're basically betting on Terrance, because betting on Terrance McKinney means you're betting more so on a very specific window of time for him to finish the fight and use those elite skills. But in that window, he is incredibly dangerous. He's the harder hitter of the two. He's going to be the stronger wrestler and the more explosive athlete. And unless Kyle Nelson can survive that early pressure, he may not even get the chance to turn the fight around. So, not fun, right? Not fun fight to pick. I certainly won't bet on this. If you're a bettor out there, I certainly won't. I don't think betting on Terrance McKinney fights are usually a good idea. It really depends on the matchup. But I think Terrance McKinney should win this fight. Probably first round finish. I'm not going to really dissect which one. I can see him knocking out Kyle Nelson. I can see him submitting him. I can see club and sub. Doesn't really matter. I think Terrance McKinney will win first round finish. I don't trust him in the long term of this fight, but I trust him to be dangerous enough early to get the job done before things start falling apart. So, once again, I'm picking Terrance McKinney, and I'm going to pick him via first round finish. Well, that being said, that's been my breakdown of this matchup. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below on who you think is going to win. But until then, I've been Bo from Brutal Commentary. I thank you all for listening. And remember, stay calm, stay respectful, and enjoy the violence. I'll see y'all next time.